conflict that takes a second too long.
What's up, you guys? It's Sky. Ready for the big surprise? 'Cause I know I am. So today I went to see a very cool musical. It was called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to From. I think I pronounced the actual name wrong. But this was what I went to go see. And, let's talk about it. Man, I was not actually planning to do this at all. In fact, this was a big, I would say it was impulsive. It really was. It was a good impulsive, though. So I was still doing my work stuff, and lo and behold, Brian Stepanek, those who know him, probably the name Arwen from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And he was here in Mansfield, Ohio, and he was in the musical. And he had posted saying, "Hey, Mansfield, what's going on? I'm going to be at the Renaissance Theater from this day to this day, if you want to come see us." And I'm like, wait, you mean Arwen and Lynn Loud Sr. are going to be there? Yeah. So me and Dakota got tickets, and literally I went to go see it, and I'm not going to lie, this was like the funniest fucking thing. Because one, I had no idea what I was honestly seeing, because I had no idea what this show was about at all. I was going in completely blind, and I've never done that before with a musical or a play. I at least knew something about it, and in this sense, I knew nothing about it whatsoever. Nothing. And it was really funny to not know a single thing about what I was getting into. So the musical is basically about Roman times and about two slaves who just get into these crazy situations. Why they're, if you will, they're I don't want to say, I would say owners, more or less, the people that own them. You have to remember this is Roman times. They are owned by somebody. And they go away, and so these two slaves just get into a wacky situation. Honestly, think Arwen just gets in these crazy situations, and that's really what it was. And, Brian Stepanek was one of them, and, that's why I went. And honestly, it was the most magical experience to meet Brian Stepanek. Along with Brian Stepanek, we had Jeff Richmond, who I got to meet as well, and John Lutz. And they were both from 30 Rock, which is so cool. And they were the sweetest guys. And Jeff Richmond played Felonius, who was the other slave, kind of like the narrator, which was really funny, by the way. He was the other one that got into trouble with Brian Stepanek a lot of times on stage, which was, again, really funny. And I loved it. And there was just times that I either heard Arwen's voice scream, and then, or moments where you could hear Arwen just talk. And even Brian Stepanek agreed. And then there were times that you heard Lynn Loud Sr., because Lynn Loud does the same thing, he screams. But it's obviously kind of different than Arwen, if you will. And it was so funny. And then, of course, my favorite part was meeting Brian Stepanek, because I didn't know if I was going to get to meet him. It was kind of just a 50-50 chance. And, you know, I went down to the end of the stage, and, you know, by the way, just before I tell this story, this is such a heartfelt story, but, I just want to give a shout out to the Renaissance Theater. So accommodating to anybody with a disability, whether it's mine with the service dog, whether it's a wheelchair. They were so accommodating. They made you feel very welcome. They wanted to make sure that you felt good, that if you needed anything, that you had it. It was just really heartfelt, and I really enjoyed the time there, and I loved it. So just want to give a shout out to the Renaissance Theater. Now, the people that ran the show, You guys did amazing. And like a well-oiled machine. As a theater kid myself, you guys did amazing. The pit was amazing. The show was run beautifully. You never made us feel like we were waiting for anything. The lights, sounds, the actors, the orc, you guys were just amazing. So now we're gonna go back to the story. So I had walked down at the end of the stage where I was told supposedly during the intermission, I went to the bathroom saying that the cast was going to be meeting everybody. So I was in the bathroom, so then somebody said, oh, I remember you saying you wanted to meet them. They were going to be at the end of the stage. Great. I waited, met a few people. That's where I met John Lutz. That was really cool. Yay! Okay, well, I waited. No, Brian Stepanek. Okay. Then Jeff. All right, I have that backwards. I'm sorry. Jeff, I met Jeff. Hold on, I think I have that backwards. Yeah, I met John first, I'm sorry. And he was really sweet. And then, no, Brian Stepanek. The stage is pretty much empty. The auditorium is pretty much empty. And I am getting really nervous. I'm like, I know it was just an off chance that I might get to meet Brian Stepanek, but I don't know. In my mind, I guess I was a little sad too if I wasn't going to get to meet him. Because somebody had told me they were going to have a meet and greet, and then to give that information out only to be like, oh, I was wrong. Well, you could have told me that, but whatever. So then it's like, oh, well, I don't know where he is. And it's just like, it's a lot. And as somebody who, has anxiety and everything, I was really anxious. And then I was really sad. And, I did cry, I'm not going to lie. I was really emotional. I was really sad. And I kind of just told my story that, I remember him from Loud House. And I still watch Loud House. I remember his Arwen. And, I was so sad. The police officer there, bless his heart, he was so nice. He was trying to cheer me up. He was trying to do his best. Some of the cast members, including some of the main cast. This is when I meet Jeff. Jeff was... This is when I meet Jeff, and he says, who are you looking for? And I'm like, I'm looking for Brian, and I told the story and blah, 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 and he's like, okay, hold on, let me see if I can find him. In my head, I just didn't hear that, I guess, because I was really sad, and I was crying, and I was just heartbroken. So I go and sit down on a bench, I'm just sad, I'm telling the police officer, like, I was just sad if I missed out. The next thing I know, I hear the voice, I look up, and across the way is Brian, and he's smiling, and he's like, and I felt like I was 7 again, like meeting your hero, and I was crying. It turned from being heartbroken and really happy and smiling. He's asked if he could give me a hug, and it was so beautiful. I can't even express how beautiful it was, that moment of just relieved how much I got to meet him. So Renaissance Theater, the cast of the show, Jeff Richmond, Brian Stepanek, the cast of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to From. You made it very special for me, and I hope you know that. So thank you for giving me my special moment with Brian Stepanek. I just hope you know how special you made it for me. Renaissance Theater, you're going to get to see this video. Brian Stepanek, I'm going to try to get you this video somehow and then show you the photo. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. My name is Skylar Quinn. Bye.